So now it says TD, that's top of descent. 580 nautical miles before we then begin our descent down into Melbourne. We're now at cruise altitude and cruise speed of 315 knots. Okay, so I've nudged it on a little bit and I thought I'd take another look because I wanted you to get a look at this. What a view. We've left cloudy Brisbane now. And we're just cruising. Cruising over the landmass. Now look how green it is. You will see this change as we get further down the coast. If you want to see where we are in the world, we can bring Flight Sim Commander in like this. Let's just go for a zoom level of about 400 nautical miles. You can see where we came out of Brisbane. We're now flying down the coast. By default, when I change that zoom, it flicks FSX back into focus. That's why it keeps changing back. But I just want to give you an idea of where we were in the world at this point. Okay, I've picked it back up again. We are 4 nautical miles away from the top of our descent. You can see where we are here. We're just about coming down to the approach into Melbourne. And now drag is required, so we'll flick back inside. We'll press the slash key, which activates our speed brakes here on our wing, hence the noise. So you can see the FMC is now descending us. I've put it down to 4 times speed. I'll drop it down to 2 times speed shortly. But while all that's going on, let's just have a look around at this scenery now. So we're northeast of Melbourne, 70 nautical miles or so northeast of Melbourne. And looks like they've got quite a few like little lakes and stuff around here. Quite hilly, which I didn't know. Can't see the coast yet, but the coast... Oh yes you can, just about make the coast out. Can you see it? Just up there, you can just about see the water. That is the... oh, what's that called? Portman Bay or something? I can't remember the name of it. Let's bring up the nav computer here. Alright, I'm going to slow the sim rate down now to ×2. We've set our altitude down to 3000. We've got our ILS programmed in. So now I'm going to put the auto brake onto 2, really start thinking about our procedures, landing procedures and so on. Pressurization, set the cabin pressure. Notice how much quicker it speeds around now. Set that at 12,000 for now. Flicks around so much quicker, the frame rate is ridiculously good compared to Brisbane. Like I say, that dinging is when we're passing nav points in Flight Sim Commander. That's not built into FSX. You can see these nav points here. Here, so we go over that one, we go over that one, we get another ding when we go over this one. You can have that running on your second screen. There's a menu option to say connect to Flight Sim and it'll update in real time. But like I say, you do need to buy it, otherwise every 30 minutes it shuts down. So if you want to run it completely, if you just want to use it to build flight plans, you can do. If you want to run it in the background, connect it to FSX, you're going to have to buy it unless you're flying less than 30 minutes every time. Okay, let's have a look where we are. Maxwell, we've got to be below 9,000 by the time we get to Hayes, which is fine, we're already at 10. So we're down to 235 knots now. 230, 220, 225. Good stuff. Don't think we need to drag it anymore, so we'll turn that off. Now the runway is, as we look out, approximately 2 o'clock position. But we're going to fly in this direction. On our current heading of 222, you can see that there. We'll fly on that before we'll turn to 270 for our final approach, and then we'll engage the engage the approach at that point. But we're still flying off sim speed 2 at the moment, which is fine. Look out the window. Lovely day in Australia. I hope I get these frame rates while I'm landing, unlike that takeoff frame rate. Good grief. Remember, this is an old game. I keep saying this to people in the stream. 2006 this game was made. Right. Seatbelt's going to have to go on now. We're below 10,000, so landing can go on. And put our logo back on because it looks cool. Oh, anti-collision. Mistake. This is why you have checklists. Anti-collision should always be on. That was a mistake by me. Nothing else we need to set there? I don't think so. Okay. Looking good so far. We are 18 nautical miles out of Melbourne, as indicated here. 2 nautical miles out of our next waypoint, then you'll hear another ding. So we're not that far off our final approach now. I'm going to switch it back to sim rate normal. You can see our final approach turn there. That warning's because we're approaching our 3,000 ceiling that we set. I'll turn that down. 2,000. I'm going to arm the approach now. Put some flaps out. You can see Melbourne city by itself down there by the bay. And the frame rate's starting to die again. Cool. There is Melbourne. Melbourne International. Going to straighten up. Gear down now. Some more flaps. I'm going to disengage the autopilot. I'm going to fly manually. Let's get the throttle down. Like so. And I'm going to disengage the autopilot now. Right, so we are now on manual flight. Just going to pull up because you can see from the ILS down the bottom there. Just a little bit. We're just going to level out basically. We're not quite at the right height on the glide slope. I'm going to go for full flaps. Just keeping it steady. Need to aim right of the runway just a bit. I'm currently left of it. Okay, so we've got a good glide slope, just picking up the speed a bit. Idle throttle. Just pull the nose up a touch. Still right of the runway too much, so I'm going to nudge over, then we'll have to bank left. The vertical speed, the vertical glide slope is just about right. Horizontally, I am just a little bit out of position, but it's okay. I'm going to bank left now, bring it back. There we go.
1,000.
Just a warning computer telling us we're at 1,000. Approach is looking good at the moment. We'll just hold steady. Good speed. It's all about just gentle adjustments at this point. Nothing too drastic. I'm just going to keep aiming to the right just a touch to bring us back into line. And I'm just going to bank left again. There we go. It's a good glide slope. Let's see the airport on our left. One hundred. I've overdone it ever so slightly.
10.
The 737 is notoriously easy to glide like that. You can end up just gliding way too far like I did. So I just need to get off the runway now. You know, you sort of pull back and flare it. The 737 will actually just flare for a long time, way too much. You can see I missed my exit point really. I shouldn't really be using this exit point. I have to warn you now, the textures are ground textures in Melbourne. Okay, I don't know what it's like in real life, but the ground textures are horrendous. See, one thing I wanted to do was get air traffic control landing clearance, and I totally forgot to do that. But never mind. Let's see if we can request a taxi from GSX. Go over to gate D6 will do. GSX handling by Qantas. The marshal has been dispatched on site. Follow me, vehicle is on its way. This is where we should have been coming in from here, but because I glided a little bit too long, I missed my exit route. But the landing was smooth. And that's the important thing in all this. It was a safe landing and a smooth landing. Just putting my flaps up there. Put my taxi lights on. You can see the vehicle up ahead, I think. I think that's him. Let's go and meet him. Still on a learning curve with this aircraft and FSX in general, so I do still make mistakes, so you have to forgive me for those mistakes, but I am learning. I'm definitely learning, and this is a complicated beast to fly. I'm getting requests to fly Airbuses and all kinds of things, but as I've explained on my stream, right now I'm staying with the same aircraft, the PMDG. I will fly the 8900 soon though. This is the 700. There's a 6700 series and an 8900 series. The 8900 is the bigger one. Obviously I'm getting requests for 747s as well, and then the Big Daddy, the 777. But you know, they're all slightly laid out slightly differently. Even though they're still Boeings, they're still laid out differently. And you do have to set up EasyDock cameras independently for each one. And right now, I don't need any more difficulty adding onto this game. So, you know, later I will start to look for an Airbus or something and fly that. And change to a different PMDG. And I've also got a serious plan to fly around the world. At the moment I'm just sampling various parts of the world. We've done Northern Europe a bit. We've done West America, and we've flown over to the East Coast. And we've also done Southern Australia now. Been to New Zealand on the stream, but obviously not in a video yet. Went to Auckland and Christchurch on the stream. That was quite funny. Crash landed at Christchurch because I left it on time 2 simulation, which is a big fail. But yeah, one step at a time is the way. And I know I'm not an expert at this, I know I'll make mistakes. But considering where I was it about 3 weeks ago, when I'd never even installed FSX before, to go from that to this is a reasonably good accomplishment, I think, and that's all down to a lot of help I've received. I do have to give a shout out for one guy in particular, Mr. Steve Kibberton. I'm sure he's watching this right now, judging my landing. That guy's basically helped me to do this a tremendous amount of time. He spent quite a number of hours with me just training me on the PMDG. He's a really nice guy. He's even going to put together a video on the FMC. So if any of you lot want to learn the FMC, he's going to put together a video which will teach you how to do it. So I'll let you know about that when he releases it. He's still working on it. It's a lovely day though, isn't it? Look at this. Sunshine's cracking the flags, as they say. It's an awful ground texture. It just looks like sand. Right, he's pulling up on the left here. Okay, looks like we've got a jetty. That's good. I don't understand why there's not even any markings on the floor. Okay. One thing about this, you can't make a mistake. There's no reverse gear. So you've got to get it first time. Lined up correctly. Just nudge forward a little bit. And stop. Parking brake. Police course engines the same. Of course we don't want to do that until we've engaged ground power, which we do by bringing up menu, actions, ground connections. We'll put the chocks on the ground power and engage ground power, and then of course we can shut down the engines. Turn off some of this air conditioning. Call in the jetty. Request deboarding. Don't think that jetty's working. I really don't think that jetty's working. Look at that. That's an absolute fail. Let's retract the jetty, because that is not happening. So what we'll do instead is we'll bring up the FMC and go to actions and doors. There's an air stair here, so we'll bring that out. Goes the cargo doors. We want to get all the luggage out. That's fine. Luggage has to start early because it does take a while. We'll open the rear door, then we'll open the front door. Deboarding passengers. As you can see, passengers are being deboarded. All the luggage is coming off. And that was Brisbane to Melbourne. Quite a nice flight. Made a few mistakes. I also wanted to get the air traffic control to guide me in, which I totally forgot to do. Just lots to think about at the moment. Lots of things, especially on the approach. So much to think about. Takeoff is fine. You can take your time, but on the approach, you're coming down from the ceiling. You're beginning your approach, your descent. Lots to think about. And I haven't yet mastered it. However, I did manage to safely get from Brisbane to Melbourne. And here we are. In the video description you will find all details of all the different add-ons I've used. I've got quite a lot of add-ons now. And yeah, next video, I don't know, maybe we'll go to New Zealand, or maybe we'll go somewhere else in the world. Lots of requests for Vancouver, and Denmark, and all other places. Lots of places in the world I want to go to. And I will change aircraft as well, go for the big boy. And also a twin prop in the plan for some of the lower altitude stuff, so we can have a look at the wonderful scenery. But that is all for this video. Please don't forget to click like, share it with your friends, tell them about my channel. And until the next video, guys, take care. Happy flying.